So the Mamiya RB67 is a camera that I bought about 2 years ago, and if I'm being honest, I have barely used it, especially for travel and landscape photos. I think I really underestimated how much of a hunk of metal this thing would be to carry around, whether that be in my bag or when it's handheld like this. Really underestimated that aspect of this camera. So because of how big this camera is, it really slows me down, and I know that's the nature of medium format to begin with. Honestly, I really wanted to explore that in this video. So normally in most of my videos, I feature 60 or 70 images, especially when I'm shooting 35mm, that's very easy to do. But with medium format, I shot 3 rolls and I only had about 25 images. I really enjoy shooting with this camera. I enjoy the process of medium format. It really is just that you only get 10 shots per roll when you're shooting 6x7 120 film. So that, in this economy, in a world where, you know, I could be getting, for that same price of $10 per roll, I could be getting rolls of Kodacolor or Kodak Gold, possibly even some $12 rolls like Lucky 200 and other 35mm formats, and be getting 36 images. Depending on if I load my Leica correctly, I could be getting upwards of 37, 38 images. So really, that is my biggest hesitation with continuing forward with medium format in 2026. I can definitely see why some people, once they get to medium format systems, they have a really hard time going back to 35mm film. Like I said, I don't think that's gonna be me. I think 35mm is really just the language that I speak when it comes to photographs. So this camera is gonna stay in the lineup, but it won't be moving up to starting position anytime soon. There's definitely a few things I want to mention about my particular RB67. I think it was pretty obvious in the images that I featured that this one has kind of a light leak in the film back that I think is honestly a pretty common issue with this camera. I do plan on resolving that issue in the future, and probably before I feature it again in another video, I'm gonna have to address that light leak. And definitely before I do any more professional work with this camera, which is what I mainly use it for, it's gonna need that light leak issue solved. So I'm gonna need to get on that relatively quickly. And the last thing I'll mention about my RB67 that's pretty obvious, I don't use the waist level viewfinder. I like to use the eye level viewfinder. It does add quite a bit more weight to its total ounceage and pounds. So it is heavier on the hands than if I was using the waist level viewfinder. So I do get tired physically of using it quicker than probably most people do for that reason. The last thing I want to mention about this video is that you may have noticed that the structure of the video is a little different than previous videos, and that's mostly because of the fact that once I made it out to the coast, I realized that I forgot all of my tripods, specifically the one that I use for video. So that made getting footage of myself, footage of establishing the shot with my camera in hand, a little bit more difficult, but who knows, maybe the structure will work well and I'll continue this structure into 2026. I've been holding this camera now for about 15 minutes, so I'm gonna put it down. Thanks so much for watching this video. If this is the kind of content that you wanna see, be sure to like the video and consider subscribing to the channel so that you can see more videos like this in 2026. Thank you for all the support in 2025, and of course, I will see you in the next video.